Hi everyone, it's Mahesh Sheru. So today I'm going to explain you the Model 5 hydraulic turbines. Okay, so objectives in this session it is intended to introduce the following, that is different type of hydraulic turbines, operation of hydraulic turbines, draft tubes, design concept related to the hydraulic turbines. So, introduction. Hydraulic turbines may be defined as prime movers that transfer the kinetic energy of the falling water into mechanical energy of rotating and whose primary function is to drive an electric generator. A cubic meter of water can give about 9,800 joules of mechanical energy for every meter it descends, and flow of a cubic meter per second in a fall of 1 meter can provide 9,800 watts of power. So hydropower is essentially a controlled method of water descent useful utilization to generate power. Hydroelectric plants utilize the energy of water falling through the head that may vary from few meters, that is 1500 to 2000 meters. To manage this wide range of heads, many different kinds of turbines are employed which differ in their working components. The main components of hydroelectric system may be classified into two groups, that is hydraulic system and electronic system. So hydraulic system components that includes the turbines, the associated conduits like penstock, tunnel and surge tank, and it is control system, and the electric system components formed by Synerus generator and its control system. So this is the beautiful layout of the hydraulic electric plant. So here the penstock will be there, a huge pipe. Okay, then fun dam. Okay, so this is turbine shaft, and this is closing valve, and this is tail race, and 11th one draft tube, then 7th one expansion stuffing box, 6th one intake tank where the water will be coming from the upstream, that is upstream to downstream, from downstream to the penstocks, and this part is the gate, and this is the trash rack, and this is the emptying the gate where valve will be there, and this is the ice gate. So this is the layout of the hydraulic power plant where the electricity will be produced from the water that will be coming from the river to the dams, and from the dams to the grid. Okay, so layout of electric power plant, here it is a surge tank will be there, then reservoir will be there, then this is the penstock or the tunnel that will be there, water will be flowing, then here air release valve will be there, and this is surge tank where extra water will be provided to the penstock, tunnel valve, then tunnel, then tail race, lower pool, powerhouse, and this is the generator. Okay, necessity of surge tank. What is the use of providing a surge tank in the hydraulic plant to the penstock? Okay, the performance of hydraulic turbines is strongly influenced by the characteristics of the water conducted that feeds the turbine. That characteristics include the effect of water inertia, water compressibility, and pipe wall elasticity in penstock. Hydraulic turbines present a non-minimal has characteristic due to water inertia. This means that the change in the gate produces an initial change in the mechanical power which is opposite to the one requested. The water compressibility affects the produce traveling waves of the pressure and is usually called water hammer. The water hammer is characteristic by the sudden high pressure rise caused by the stopping of flow too rapidly. The wave propagates speed in around 1200 meters per second. In those plants where distance between the forebay or reservoir and the tube is quite large, a surge tank usually utilized. The function of this tank is to hydraulically isolate the turbines from the deviations in the head produced by the wave effect in the conducts. Some such tanks include an orifice whose function is to dampen and absorb the energy of the hydraulic oscillators. Okay, then classification of hydraulic turbine, that is generally classified as impulse turbine, Pelton, then turbo turbine. Then next one is reaction turbine that comes around Francis, Kaplan and propeller turbines. Based on the flow of direction, further they are classified as tangential flow or radial flow, axial flow and mixed flow. So impulse and reaction turbine, what is the difference between impulse and reaction turbines? The flow energy to the impulse turbine is completely covered to the kinetic energy before transferring in the runner. The impulse force being transferred by the direction changes of the flow velocities vectors which possess the buckets creating the energy counted by the mechanical energy on the turbine shaft. The flow enters the runner from jet space around the rim of runners. The jet hits the momentarily only a part of the circumference of the runner. In the reaction turbine, two effects cause the energy transfer from the flow to the mechanical energy on the turbine shaft. Firstly, it follows from the drop in pressure from its inlet to outlet of the runner. This is denoted as the reaction part of the energy conservation. Secondly, the change in the direction of the flow velocities vectors through the runner blade channels the transfer impulse forces. This is denoted by the impulse part of the energy conservation. The pressure drop from inlet to outlet of the runner is obtained because of the runners are completely filled with the water. So this is the example and figure of the Francis turbine. Okay, it consists of spiral casing, bottom chamber, guide vanes, and this is the runner, top chamber, guide vanes, operating rings. This is the shaft, shaft shield, guide vane lever. Here it is, and this is the draft tube. So inside top chamber, guide vanes, shaft seal, guide vanes. Here it will be there. Then operating ring, then guide vanes. Okay, this is the Francis turbine. How it will be the horizontal shaft Francis turbine. Then on vertical shaft Francis turbine. So this is the vertical how it will be the in the turbines. Okay. At Francis turbine, the water from the penstock is conducted through a scroll casing and distributed around the staying ring and completely circumference to the guide when ascends. The scroll casing are normally welded steel plates construction for turbines at low, medium as well as high heads. The openings of the guide vanes are adjustable by the regulating the rings like links and levers. The vanes are shaped according to the hydraulic design specifications and given a smooth surface finish. The bearing of the guide vane shaft are lubricated with the oil or grease. Casing covers are bolted to the steering of the scroll casing. They are designed for high stiffness to keep the deformation caused by water pressure at a minimum. This is of a great importance for achieving a minimal clearance gap between the guide vanes and the facing plates of the course. Between the runner and the cover, the clearance is also made as small as possible. The turbine shaft is still forged and has forged flanges at the both ends. The turbines and a greater shaft are converted by the flanged joint. This joint may be bolted, rammed, or friction coupling where the torque is transferred by means of shear or friction. So regulating mechanism of the Francis turbine. So this is the guide vanes here. It will be rotating here. Guide vanes closed, stay vanes, and this is the vane regulating ring, link, upper cover, guide surface, lower surface. The guide vane mechanism also, along with the governors, provides the regulation of the turbine output. The turbine governors control the servometer which transfer its force through the rod to the regulating ring. The ring transfers the movement of the guide vanes through a rod, lever, and link construction. The guide vane exit area is flow direction is varied by equal rotation of each of the guide vanes. So next one is Kaplan turbine. So a Kaplan turbine is properly type water turbine that has adjustable blades. So these blades can be adjusted. It was developed in 1913 by the Australian professor Victor Kaplan. The Kaplan turbine was evolved of the Francis turbine. Its invention allowed efficient power production in a low head application that was not possible with Francis turbine. Kaplan turbines are now widely used throughout the world in a high flow, low head power production. Power plants with net heads ranging from 10 to 17 meters can be used for Kaplan turbine. So, Kaplan turbines have adjustable running blades that offer significant advantage to give high efficiency over the range. Okay, and this is little drop efficiency due to the head variation or load. The runner blade's operating mechanism consists of a pressure oil head, a runner's servomotor, and the blade operating rod inside the shaft, etc. The runner blades are operated to a smoothly adjust their blades angles by a link mechanism installed inside the runner hub. So this is the runner hub. It will be installed here. So this is section view of the Kaplan turbine. Okay, if it did cut section of this, then inside how it will be looking. So diagonal flow turbine. The diagonal flow turbine is an improvement of a Kaplan turbine with better performance of a high head. The diagonal flow turbines is a result of using the adjustable runner blades has high efficiency over a wide range of a head and load. Thus, it is suitable for a power stations with a wide variations of head, a large variations of discharge. The diagonal flow turbines has runner blades stream consistent at the certain diagonal angles to the vertical central line of the mechanism. So next one, tubular or a bulb turbine. So tubular turbine is a reaction turbine of a Kaplan turbine which is used for the lowest head. In a bulb turbine, the water flows with a mixed axial radial direction in a single guide vanes, causing and not through a skull casing. The guide vanes spindles are inclined normally 60 degrees in reflection to the turbine shaft. Contrary to the other turbine types, this results in a conical guide vessel castle. The bulb turbine runner is of same design of the Kaplan turbine runner. The tubular turbine is equipped with the adjustable wicket gates and adjustable runner blades. This arrangement provides the greatest possible flexibility in adopting a changing net head and changing dimensions of the power output because of the gates and blades can adjust to the optimum openings. Parts of the bubble turbine. So this is the inside view of the bubble turbine. So first one is the noise bulb noise. So then accessories arm to upstream component. Then a removable cover of for generation dismantling oil distribution head generator upper stay vanes for access to the downstream compartment upstream thrust and counter thrust bearing lower stay vanes downward stream bearing adjustable disorder blades and turbine pit. The next one is specific energy of hydraulic turbine. The specific energy of a hydraulic power plant is the quantity of potential and kinetic energy which 1 kilogram of water derives with the passage through the plant from the upper to the lower reservoir. The expansion of the specific energy is Newton metric kg or joules per kg and is designated as meter square meter per second. In a hydraulic power plant, as outlined in the figure, the difference between the level of the upper reservoir and the level of the tail reservoir is defined as the gross head. So Hg is equal to H reservoir at the top and H reservoir at the bottom. The corresponding gross specific energy is Eg is equal to G into Hg, where G is the acceleration due to gravity where a water discharge cubic meters per second passes through the plant, the delivered power is P is equal to rho into G into H, where rho G is the gross power plant, rho is the density of the water, and Q is the discharge. So specific energy of water turbine, that is between section B and C from the above figure is available. This specific energy is defined as the net specific energy and expressed by En is equal to G into H. And the net head of the turbine Hn is equal to En upon G and Hn is equal to Hp plus V square upon G, where Hn equal to Hg minus El upon G, that is equal to H gross minus HL, where HP is the piezometric head above the tail water level, that is PB by gamma, that is V square upon 2G is the velocity head and E1 upon G is the specific hydraulic energy loss, that is HL. So next one is the velocity triangle for the Pelton wheel. So this is the omega and this is RM depth tangentially. This is the radial. So V1, okay, this flow of the water will be taking place. V1 and it's that will be V2 and this is the U uniform velocity. Okay. So figure A ideal flow velocities for the Pelton wheel turbine and figure B this is the relative velocity for a Pelton wheel turbine and C is the initial inlet and exit velocity triangles for a Pelton wheels. Okay, next section it will be done in afterwards. Okay, thank you.